I'm gonna share with you my 3 tips of how I lost 30 pounds and didn't give up chocolate or wine. That sounds pretty great, right? But before I get into those 3 tips, I wanna tell you a little bit about me and my journey so you understand the context that I'm telling you all this, right? I was in your shoes. 3 years ago, I was overweight. I felt like crap. I didn't feel good when I looked in the mirror. I would come home at the end of the day just so exhausted, and I wouldn't eat all day because I was stressed and busy, and then I would just eat whatever was around, right? Or there were days when I was so starving that I would just run into the break room and I'd be stressed and I would just eat pizza or Oreos or whatever someone had brought in. And this cycle continued. It was just a vicious cycle. And eventually I was like, you know what? I want to get healthier. I want to feel better. And so I went and did diet after diet. I don't know if you have tried this as well, but yo-yo diets, right? Like, what was the next big thing? And then I actually even went and hired a sports nutritionist and paid all this money. And they were like, well, I think your body just wants to be like this. And it was so defeating. And I almost gave up, and I'm lucky I didn't. And I found the way. I was kind of brought into the bodybuilding community. And a lot of people are kind of turned away from this community, or they have the wrong impression, right? They think everyone is on steroids and that you're gonna turn into like a She-Hulk. But the great thing about the bodybuilding community is, one, that's not true, and two, they really understand metabolism health. They really understand how to build your body in a healthy way and shift from like these yo-yo restrictive diets to how do I live happier and healthier. So I want to share with you over this journey from the last 3 years, from stay puff to strong and buff, and how I went from being 30 pounds overweight to getting on stage in 3 competitions this year and being top 5 in my category in the world, which was awesome. So tip number 1, are you ready? Okay, tip number 1 is to eat more food. I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound right. And I was suspicious at first. I know the first time someone told me to do this, I was like, no, I can't eat that much. That's way more food than I normally eat. I'm gonna gain weight. But here's the thing, calorie counting doesn't work long term. And the reason is because calorie deprivation, starvation deprivation, puts your body into a biological fight-flight response. And your metabolism goes down and your hunger goes up. And so while you may lose weight initially, you'll gain it back. And most time people yo-yo and gain more. I know I did. And calories on the outside of your body don't necessarily equal what they are inside your body, right? So like 500 calories of Oreos isn't the same as 500 calories worth of chicken. And your body uses it different. So if you shift into eating more nutritious food to stabilize and increase your metabolism, you will get healthier, happier, and also lose weight. And really what I work with my group on is shifting that mindset from deprivation to long-term health, where your byproduct is really health gain, and you lose that weight. So secret number 2, you ready for secret number 2? Okay, secret number 2 is mindset, and really getting into that mindset of shifting from the deprivation to the health long-term gain, health gain. So my tip for doing this and how I was able to do it was I really surrounded myself with a community that was after that same thing, right? So we are who and what we surround ourselves with the most. And we live in an amazing time because like no other time in the past, we can surround ourselves virtually with pretty much any community we want. So I know if you're thinking, oh gosh, like my husband won't support me, or my wife won't support me, or my coworkers, or my family, or my kids, or oh, well, you can start with making the shift yourself and surrounding yourself with that community virtually. So when I first started, I was following inspiring people on Instagram, and I was listening to podcasts and audiobooks all about getting into that mindset and that personal development growth. And I know in our online virtual community, there's a group of us, and when you have a group of people who are all working towards one vision and all supporting each other, all of a sudden you realize, hey, I'm not alone, and if they can do it, I can do it too. And then the third and final tip, that ended up being 6, I meant 3. The third and final tip, are you ready? All right, it is work out smarter, not harder. Right? Okay, so what does it mean to be working out smarter and not harder, not longer? Well, I'm not saying you shouldn't do workouts, and I'm not saying they don't need to be hard. But the first thing I want to emphasize is everyone who comes to me asks me for workouts, and I always direct them back to nutrition first, because really 80% of your health is your nutrition, putting that healthy food in your body. But moving your body is so good for you. And you will learn how to release stress, how to feel stronger and better. But I know for me, I used to do these marathon workouts. I was training for triathlons. I would go the distance, like insane amounts of cardio. And then I would just gain weight, which made no sense to me. But because I never really got the balance, I would work out for hours and hours and hours. And then I didn't know how much to eat, and my metabolism was all screwed up. So now I do shorter, more efficient workouts. I know, it's surprising. And I resistance train. And the thing about resistance training or strength training or lifting is there's a lot of misconceptions. One, people feel like, especially women, that's going to make you bulk up, which it won't. It's going to bump up your metabolism for hours later. It will make you stronger and feel better, and it's going to give you that toned look that you want without the bulk, right? And when you do just cardio, you don't get that. So I work with all my ladies on doing some type of program that incorporates some kind of resistance training, and you don't have to do like an insane amount of like weight, right? I know I have some prior back and shoulder injuries, and so I'm really focusing on time under tension, really isolating muscles, holding it, because if I do too heavy of weights, I'm going to injure myself. So there is a way to resistance train that's effective, that works for your body, and you don't have to worry about injuring yourself, but you should always talk to your doctor. So those were my 3 tips for how to lose weight, lose 30 pounds without giving up chocolate or wine. And if you liked this and it was valuable, I would love to invite you to join my online virtual community. On this page, I give you all the details, and it is an amazing group of women. We support each other. I coach everyone through the programs. The program, you get access to a virtual library, the same virtual library that I use, of over 800 workout video programs. You can do them at home, you can do them at the gym. I know when I first started working out, I really didn't understand what movements to do, and I felt kind of intimidated about going to the gym. So I love being able to do these at home, especially being short on time. A lot of my ladies in my group have full-time jobs and kids, and it just fits into their schedule. We also really focus on meal prep. We support each other through inspiration and connection, and we do online virtual workouts sometimes too. So fill out the application below, give me your information, and I will be in touch with you within 24 hours to kind of talk about your goals and getting started.